Hi, this is Jamie, and I'm going to give you an overview of the Flamingo cave radio system. Flamingo is a specialized cave communication system derived from Meshtastic, but optimized for underground use. One of the biggest modifications we made is expanding the hop limit from 7 to 255 hops, which makes it more optimized for a chain topology, which you're more likely to have underground, but you can still use the mesh configuration. If you haven't heard of Meshtastic, at the most basic level, you have 2 or more wireless radio nodes that communicate with each other using the LoRa messaging protocol. Each node can then be paired to a mobile device over Bluetooth, and there's a pretty good iOS or Android app that allows you to configure the radios and send messages throughout the network. The Flamingo hybrid nodes allow you to do pretty much the same thing, but you can use a physical comms wire like a military phone line or any 2-conductor wire between the nodes. So this illustrates a basic setup where you can run a chain of radios down into the cave, and that way the incident commander can have situational awareness up on the surface, but cavers can connect anywhere they have line of sight to a node and send messages back and forth. So to set up a Flamingo network, you start with a surface node or incident command node, in here labeled A. You then designate one to be the listener, in this case E. That one will send a request to node A to start range tests. Node A will then start sending a test ping every 15 seconds. With good signal, the listener will beep once, and with moderate signal it'll beep twice, and with low signal it'll beep 3 times. It'll also show the RSSI and signal to noise ratio, and what you want to do is look for an average SNR of about 3, and that kind of marks the optimum spacing for the radio nodes. Once the spacing is determined, you actually set down a new node, in this case node B, and then you basically repeat the same process and do the range test to the most recent node, and you leapfrog down the line as you build the network. You can replace any of these segments with comms wire using the hybrid nodes. This allows you to do kind of a mixed layout. For the rest of this video, you can see our experiment at Tumbling Rock Cave on January 23rd, where we demonstrate this mixed network. This is our main node here, which will be connected to the logging laptop that Bob has set up.
Right, I'm logging COM3. So we hand out rescue radios. This is external antennas could be the main, and then this could be a backup with internal antenna. This could be the one used to listen for range tests. So Jamie, this could be your radios right here.
Okay.
Primary and secondary.
All right, this is the listener node that I'll be carrying on me. It has a buzzer inside, so it's going to make sound as I do the range test. To connect to a node for the first time, go to the bottom right and click the little icon, and then click scan, and that's going to look for new radios. So under available devices, you'll see HA20, which was the radio I had in my hand. Click on that, and you're going to put in the Bluetooth pairing pin, which is 911-911, and click connect. You should then see connecting, see some little messages pop up, and now you're connected. So you can see some stats there on that page, and then you can go back to settings, and you'll see all the available settings within that radio. So within the LoRa, these are kind of the main presets. You've got the mode, you've got the frequency slot, and the transmit power. And then on here you can see the different chat rooms. So we've got HCRU1 and an admin channel as well. And these are all the different nodes that radio has talked to in the past. Before going into the cave, it's good to do a comms check just to make sure that everybody's able to hear each other on the network. So back there we have the incident command post with the surface node set up. So that's the first step, is to get that running. The serial logging is totally optional. That's just more for experimentation and debugging. The next step is to enter the cave. So we're going to set up a hybrid node right outside the entrance. We already know that we're going to start with a cable, so we're going to do a hybrid node up front and then run the spool inside up to the top of Sugarloaf Mountain.
It's going to be a wired segment that runs 900 feet into the cave to Sugarloaf Mountain. So I'm getting that set up outside. This bridge node is going to end up connecting to our incident command up front. So this is going to be bridge node WB07. We'll get set up right here. I'm going to look at these ends and make sure they're good. They look good. We're going to connect them here. And I'm going to end up taping these just to make sure that they're not going to come undone. So now I'm going to add some electrical tape.
We recommend adding electrical tape. That way if the wires get tugged, it won't short out, but you just won't hear anything, and that could cause issues.
I'll get the other one.
All right, in we go. Just kidding. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. All right, we're going to do a comms check right here. Back to IC. We turn it on. All right.
Com check. Sent. So here we're just running an early sanity check just to make sure that incident command can hear us. So we're waiting for them to reply, and there's the message there. You can also use an emoji or a reply.
We're gonna, our objective is to put the node just on the top of that up there. All right, we have maxed out this cable. So we're just gonna drop the node right here, and we'll have a pretty clear shot to the passage over there.
We're going to need a test.
So here we're going to send another status update to IC, 1 to make sure that the network is functional, and 2 just to keep them informed that we've finished laying this first spool.
I'm gonna take this guy on my back, just so it's got a good shot at the antenna. We're gonna hang that here.
Here I'm connected to that listener node that I attached to my pack right there, and I am starting the range test so that that node there, the hybrid node that we placed, will be sending pings to the listener node and giving signal strength updates. So in order to start range test, you're going to find the target node that you want to measure from. You click on it and select direct message, and there's a couple options here, but the quickest way is to just send the alert bell character. Once that node receives it, you go to the general chat room and you will start receiving signal strength updates every 15 seconds from that target node, as you can see there.
As I travel, I have the node just strapped to my kit like that. So right now, well, SNR average?
SNR.
11.5.
That's good.
So we're here at the saltpeter where it's starting to hit lower signal. So we're probably getting close.
Once the new node location is identified, you place it, turn it on, and then send a report back to IC. Once you do that, you can go back into your target node and stop the range test pings by either sending the alert bell character or ADRT off, and that'll stop the range test pings. And then you just repeat that process. As you move through the cave, you can listen to the beeps and monitor SNR There's a little bit of an art to it, but you just pretty much leapfrog through the cave, placing your nodes as you need to.
Good terrain for a wire, so we're going to be running this instead of RF.
If you know that there are portions of the cave, such as this breakdown, or a low ceiling, or a squeeze, crawl, or a lot of tight turns, it's helpful to know ahead of time, and you can plan out using a wire, because wire will work better for those tight areas that RF would just get attenuated too much. All right. Another valuable tool is the trace route. You could see Bob doing that here on an iPhone. If you run a trace route, it will basically tell you all the different nodes and all the different hops between you and the destination. This can be really useful just to do a comms check back to IC, but also to help identify if there are any weak links in your network. It can be useful for trying to identify holes or spots where your signal is weak. So it'll show you this report at the end. And this is what it looks like on an iPhone. Similarly, here's how you do it on an Android. You just click the destination and hit trace route, and the report will pop up. Be aware that the trace route can take some time depending on the length of the network, and unfortunately right now it doesn't necessarily tell you if it's failed. So at this point in the cave, we've set our last bridge node just past King's Shower, and I'm about to place the last node at the Christmas tree. Unfortunately, when I was at the Christmas tree, there's quite a bit of activity on the network, so I almost missed Incident Command's response, but you can see it right there to one of my messages to them. As one final test, I'm running a trace route all the way from the Christmas tree to Incident Command up on the surface. It did take a couple tries, but you can see here we got about 16 hops. So in this test, we identified a handshake issue, which we've since addressed with our radio configuration tool, and we seem to have much better success with the short fast preset. So comms were pretty reliable, and yeah, we hope to continue to improve this. So if you're interested, check out our GitHub page, and you can follow some more of the development as we continue to improve Flamingo. Thanks for watching.